Hi, welcome. I do have a couple of things to share that, there's a lot going on again about my ear, so I have something to share. Where do I begin? I will talk briefly about myself, about my ears. If you haven't watched my previous videos, you can check them out. There is, I think on the right side, you can check them out. I posted a few on YouTube. I have a cochlear implant, here. Can you see this? I got it last year in July, 14th of July. I had my first surgery on my left ear, the very first one, and there were some complications, so I had to be operated twice on my left ear because the electrode, the end of the electrode made a tip fold over. It made like a crack, right? And so I had, to decide, will I use the other remaining intact, functioning electrodes that are working, or, do I want them, a completely new one? And so I was a little bit shocked, but as I was already for a week at hospital, I thought, okay, let's do it again, I wanted it to work properly, and so I was operated after another week. When you usually take out the stitches, I was operated a second time, and afterwards it worked. I had I got my speech processor one day after the surgery, after the first one, and I could understand. I could hear too, I could hear and I could understand, I did really. Only that the sound didn't sound properly, not the way it should sound, but I could understand, and that was already a big success for me, like after the surgery. And then after the second one, I waited 2 days before I wanted to try out the speech processor because I had a lot of ear pain and it was not comfortable. The second surgery was quite painful. But after a week I felt better, and I could hear again, and then the journey started with new sounds, new hearing, and I really made a speed recovery. I couldn't believe it myself. I remember when friends told me, Sandra, you will make a speed fast recovery, and I was like, oh right, are you kidding me? Sure, I couldn't believe it. And now it really turned out the way they told me, and it's like almost a year, not really, but almost, a few more months left, and it's amazing, I can listen to music, I understand the sounds, my voice is the same way as it was before, my friends' voices is the same way, sounds the same way as before the surgery when I had my hearing aid, Yeah, it's a miracle, I can't explain it, it's a real miracle. And okay, at first, their voices sounded different and strange and weird and like Mickey Mouse, and all this, but later somehow it changed, I noticed it. I don't know, it went so fast, that unconsciously I got, I somehow used the information, that I got, and, in my brain it converted whatever, into sounds, and all of a sudden I could understand, even the TV, it's back to what it was before, before I had my hearing loss, because after my hearing loss I couldn't use my hearing aid and I couldn't hear, and that was the point when I decided to get my CI. So I think I talk a lot about it. I just wanted to give you some information if you haven't watched my other videos. So, and now, my left ear is done, I hear well. On my right ear, I don't hear anything at all, and I didn't know that all until 2007, when, the first few, slight, minimal hearing losses started, when my hearing curve was fluctuating. It went up and down, and then, I went to hospital and they made some x-rays, and then they figure out, okay, you have a cochlear on your right ear, but it's not really fully developed. It is there, but those little those little things are missing, and it's not fully developed. And I was a little bit shocked, I was like, okay, it's not fully developed. Wow, that's a shock. you know, they told me, you're actually a miracle. You were supposed to be deaf on both ears. So, you know, it's kind of interesting, you know, you have one normal developed cochlear, you know, this name, and on the other ear you don't have it fully developed. So this is kind of contradicting, you know, and they were surprised too, you know. So, and because I don't have a fully developed cochlear, it's not possible to get the cochlear implant, because how do they want to get the electrode inside my ear, you know? And now, you know, there are certain tests that the doctors can do at hospital, and I'm still, you know, trying to get a lot of information about it, if it's something is possible, you know, for this Mondini syndrome. I think that's how it's called, when you don't have a fully developed inner ear. And there are a couple of people that have this similar problem, and they got a cochlear implant or Med-L or any different, you know, and it worked. For them it took, I think, a little bit longer for the ears to get adjusted to these pings, you know, to this electrical stimulation, until their brain figure out, okay, you know, that's a sound and that's what you hear now. So I don't know if it's possible for my ear, and that's why I have to go to hospital and, you know, have this promontorium test. So, and I think I will have the test next week. I can get it next week, but oh my god, you know, that's like going too fast for me. Then I wonder, do you want to know by next week if my ear nerves are responding to electrical stimulation? Which means if yes, then I could get a surgery. Oh god, you know. And yesterday I was thinking about that, and you know how this test looks like. You know, there are two methods. As far as I know, there are two. One is where you get electrodes inside your ear, and then it stimulates, you get electrical, you know, stimulation. And the other one is where they put a needle through your eardrums, deep into where your bones are, you know, the ear things, little, you know, and you get electrical stimulation, and then they try to measure your pain level, you know, when it's too painful, when it's not, when you notice something, when not, and oh god, you know. And I drew something last night, you know, kind of a possible nightmare of such a test. This is so crazy. Have a look. I have to share it because it's actually funny, you know. You might think, oh my god, Sandra, are you so paranoid? You think that this is going to be, you know, like this? No. I just felt like drawing, you know. How I imagine. Oh, you know. No. But, yeah, you know, all this, you know, at the moment stirs up some emotions from last year, from the past, you know. So, I'm a little bit nervous, you know, about what they will say, what they will figure out. Will it work, you know, or good? If you know, something positive turns out from this test, you know, so that my ear nerves are responding to something, you know, electrical stimulation, then it will also mean that the implant, a possible implant, might work, you know. I don't know it, but I will know more, you know, next week or in 2 weeks. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry that it's so long. I'll get back to you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.